Folks, welcome into a late night emergency crossing swords where Jarmo Kekalainen, following the Sabres a massive 5-1 victory in Pittsburgh over the Penguins, having the Buffalo Sabres win 5 in a row, makes a couple big trades for the Sabres where, firstly, it's late at night. It's 12:47 Eastern Standard Time, so we're going to go as long as this is, people are confident, having a good time, and the chat's already going. So trading for two bad players is certainly an interesting decision. We'll see how it plays out. What's up, fellow Sabres fans? Only 9:46 in Vegas. Frankie, I'm jealous of you. It's a little bit later here on the Eastern Standard Time, but I was in Pittsburgh. That's where I live currently right now, at the Penguins game, which was a blast. But the Buffalo Sabres make some trades where we saw, the rumor mill moving the past couple days, especially involving St. Louis with Robert Thomas. Colton Parayko was done, but he had to accept it and he declined it. Are these two trades official? Not in terms of like the Sabres tweeting them out and the Rangers tweeting them out, but Frank Saravelli has put his thumbs up on it. So that confirms it to me for the most part. Plus, Chad DiDomenicis, need to give a big shout out to Chad, who, broke this hours ago. And Frank Saravelli gave him a good pop too, saying, I don't need to confirm this because Chad does great work, but I am anyways. And big thing here, Mike, go Sabres. So let's talk about these moves right now for Buffalo, where, the first one that came through, Sam Carrick coming into the Sabres organization. He's a center, kind of muck it up. You can fight, do that. But the big thing here for him, he's won 53.9% of his faceoffs this season. And I mean, the past two games for the Sabres, we've actually seen him win a lot of draws. I think they won 56.9 tonight. And honestly, it might be the same exact number against Vegas in their previous outing. But to have a guy like that who can win big draws for you is going to be a big thing as we look farther down for the Sabres team. You like Stanley. He's a big boy. Yeah, I mean, you look at what Jarmo Kekalainen was trying to bring in between Colton Parayko, who is 6'6", Stanley's a big body who can throw it. The Sabres team, they're adding the depth defensively. Like the Sabres weren't looking to bring in, Parayko was, a top two guy in St. Louis, but the Sabres top four defense are so good. To bring in the depth here is such a big thing. We hear so many comparisons to the 05-06 team, which is, it's just fun. I think it's fun to talk about that team. But, the big shortcoming for them was their defense got hurt late in the playoffs, in that playoff run. To add Schenn, to add Stanley to that makes his team a lot deeper. And, it sucks losing Isak Rosén. Jacob Bryson was fun for, the Get Bryson meme was always great. But to give up guys like that, which, weren't part of the Sabres' long-term plan. Bryson is a free agent this summer. Rosén, up until, he got called to the Sabres early in the season, could not find his footing at NHL level. We looked at him at this prospect challenge, in which was his fourth prospect challenge. He put up 0 points. It felt like he didn't have a chance in hell of ever being part of the Sabres organization. So the fact that he was able to come into the Sabres, they called him up in the first place, which was good. They was able to play well, and they got some return from him, which was great. The Sabres have a lot of great young forwards, whether that be Noah Ostlund, carving out a role in the NHL right now. He got a point or two tonight. He looked really good. Constance Hollis, who had a beautiful start when his first call up with the Sabres, kind of faltered toward the end, not to the level we saw. But, losing Isak Rosén is not the end of the world. To add the depth like that is great. To add that jam, that so many people want from the Sabres team is a great thing too. Some comments here as I roll through from Daniel. How great is it for the Sabres to be on the buyer side of the trade deadline? Sending love from Seattle. Hey, appreciate you sending love from the West Coast in Seattle. It's a little bit better of a time than over here on the East Coast, but it is, we're in uncharted territory. We did an emergency stream. Was it yesterday? It was for Colton Parayko. Feels like a lifetime ago. And I said, I think the last time I remember the Sabres were really buyers at this time, or at least, in a season was, I don't even know if you can call it a buy, but, when they brought in Evander Kane, moved Tyler Myers out to Vancouver. I think I was in like 7th grade, 8th grade. I remember being in English class when I got that notification from ESPN. So it's been that long. You look at recent history too, of bringing in Josh Norris, moving on from Dylan Cousins, like, that's the closest the Sabres have been to buyers. It's basically just been kind of swapping guys, trying to find new homes. From that point, Max is interesting. I wonder what D-man is out the door. I mean, we see Bryson gone. It's interesting because the Sabres defense, arguably, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're watching right now, is the best, arguably the best D-corps in the NHL, where we know their top four is great, but even their bottom two pairing, Kesselring, I thought, played great tonight. It was the first time I got to watch him in person. He was phenomenal. Then Zach Metz has been, the unsung hero as of late, where he hasn't been scored on 5-on-5 since October, November. That there's a stat out there if someone can find, which is crazy. I think just adds to that depth though, where you have these two guys, and you basically add just one more to the stockpile. A Bowen Byram trade now, you can't break up that top four. Everyone that's on the Sabres team now isn't going anywhere. You look at the guys that moved on from too. Bryson, who is just the odd man out. You're bringing in these two defensemen who are upgrades over Bryson, in my opinion. Granted, I have not watched every single Logan Stanley, every single Luke Schenn shift from this season, but they're upgrades over Bryson, especially just, the last time we saw Bryson in the Sabres uniform was that tough outing before the Olympic break where, unfortunately that was kind of the last look we saw of him. He had a great run up until that game this season where he was a massive part of why the Sabres are where they're at right now, where all the injuries, all the guys having to step into roles we weren't really expecting. Like we've had a decent understanding of who Jacob Bryson is as a defenseman throughout his years in the Sabres organization. I remember, when he was in Providence, like, oh, this is a late round pick. Maybe he can get to the Sabres. He can skate well. He can move the puck well. His game's really evolved. I'm hoping he gets a great opportunity to perform in Winnipeg and get some sort of good contract in this offseason. So hopefully that can happen there. Some comments here too as I roll through. Stanley takes a lot of penalties and is terrible defensively. Well, that's not great news. Evan, you were in the Parayko chat the other day. Also really weird they trade for 2 rental penalty pending UFAs. Agreed. I mean, you look at what the Sabres gave up in that too. Like Bryson didn't feel like was going to be a part of the Sabres future there. Didn't make much sense on that front. And Roseanne, like, again, he's not a long-term answer for the Sabres either. So we'll see how these guys look in Buffalo. I mean, the Winnipeg isn't, going to win the Stanley Cup this season. So the same things we said about Colton Parayko of, Parayko is a -14. Is he being in a different environment? You look at the Sabres team now, how they play defensively. We'll see how these guys look in Buffalo. The great thing is you're not taking away anything from the Sabres team right now to bring these guys in. I think they add a different element to what we've seen in the Sabres team, especially this D-corps where we're relying so heavily on the top four of Dahlin, Samuelson, Power, Byram, that if you can add guys who can eat a couple more minutes, that's going to be a great thing going forward. And if an injury happens, it's not going to be the end of the world. Hopefully we can see from that point. Metza 5th, who plays 6th. That's the crazy thing. Zach Metza's earned his spot to be in this lineup. That bringing, Stanley, bringing in Schenn, oddly enough, like Kesselring has to be the odd man out. You would think where the top 4 is staying as is, unless some sort of mass move happens, unless Jarmo is still on the phones. I mean, Jarmo, it's late. It's almost 1 a.m. But we'll see what happens there. Was at the game, loved seeing this team in person, met you at Mars. Well, oh, Chris, good to see you. Go Sabres. It's always great to see the Sabres in Pittsburgh, let alone having them actually win is a great thing. Appreciate you in the chat tonight. Always great to see a fellow Sabres Buffalo fan in Pittsburgh. Lord Stanley meet Logan Stanley. I mean, if there's any doubt that the Sabres are going for the cup, which is unfortunately the only thing on my mind, just with everything going on, is Lord Stanley. And the fact they brought in Logan Stanley, I think, really cements that right now. Decent depth moves so far, Sean says, especially Carrick. Thrilled Kevin's boy Bryson is gone. Do you expect more tomorrow or today, however you view it? Yeah, I mean, the fact that these moves happen at this hour, at this time, makes you want to believe that there's more in the future. I can't imagine Carrick, Schenn, and Stanley were like the number 1 trade targets for every single team that, if they don't get the deal done now, someone's going to swoop in and take them. Like, could there be other deals on the table? Of course. But, I think this is a possibility for more to happen, but it's weird because you look at these moves, like they really solidify the Sabres depth. You bring in Carrick, who, has a lot of jam to his game, can drop the gloves, but is an excellent faceoff guy, being 53.9% on the draw this season. You look at the depth defenseman, had a little more jam there. It's like, okay, how much depth can you have on your roster where like you look at the Sabres roster, there's not too many guys are like, they should upgrade there. They can improve there without really altering this team. With the run they're on, they're the best team since early December. It's hard to really argue on that front. Glad I tell Joe exactly. I mean, Sabres win in convincing fashion tonight. The haircut does look good. I mean, I was worried with everyone in the chat yesterday of is this haircut gonna end the Sabres season? Glad to know that they won 5-1 with it. So you're welcome, everyone, on that front. This is crazy stuff going on for us right now. Who would have thought? Not I. From doing like the Gatesies win more, lots more post game videos after every game. Early December, it was on that Western Conference road trip, the Western trip where they lost their first 3 games. I was like, I'm up to like 2-3 a.m. doing these videos. I'm like, why am I doing this? This team has no fight. Everything sucks. Like, this isn't fun. This is going to be a long season. And the fact that just signing Trevor Kuntar was all it took to bring the Sabres team to where they are now is great. And it's still just crazy to think that it wasn't like they brought a new player. It wasn't like they got a guy back healthy. It was just the belief. I mean, it's crazy enough because we've seen the skill in the past. We've seen all that. It's a crazy thing. We are in a situation where we can get Sammy or Darlene a night off 100%. Brady Bunch, great call there, where even if they can't get a full night off, adding this depth just makes it so this top 4 isn't putting up crazy numbers a night in terms of their time on ice. Sean, I've liked how Kesselring has looked the last couple games. Agreed. Then I thought, I mean, this is the first time I saw Kesselring play in person, I believe. And I thought he looked great. I mean, it's weird because I can't think of a spot I'm like, oh, this guy needs to be out of the lineup really anywhere in the Sabres lineup too much. I would feel more comfortable playing him with Power, trade Byram, Quinn, Hellenis, and Levi for Thomas. Yeah, I initially brushed off the Byram stuff, but I mean, if you look at the Sabres decor, one, you can't move anyone, in my opinion, with just how they are. Like a move of that magnitude is scary. But if you could bring in a guy like Robert Thomas, it's like, how can you steer clear of that? And it might be a little too late for me to really think about trading Bowen Byram at this point. With anyone saying the right thing, I'll probably hop on board with that. But it's interesting. I think with moving on from Roseanne, Hellenis feels a bit more solidified in that front. If you look at the Sabres young forwards, like Roseanne was the guy that's like, if they can move on from him out of that 3, that's a win. Where you rank him right now, like Austin's on the Sabres, like he's a part of the team. Hellenis is going to be a big part of this team moving forward. We saw what he could do this year at just 19 years old is a big thing. Chris here, I get we needed a right-handed D-man, but I'm hoping for a big forward acquisition tomorrow. We will see. It's definitely on the table where the Sabres make these 2 trades and they still have a ton of ammunition left to really do anything they want at this point, where you got a lot of guys in the system. You got some NHL guys who really aren't, cutting it out, whether that be, everyone's favorite, my favorite, Jack Quinn, and all the parts of there. Are these trades rumors are actually true? MCK, true in the fact that like Frank Cervelli said this is true, which I know he's not like God on this front. And I guess you just have to wait till like the Sabres or Rangers or Jets like tweet it out. I don't know if like admins is. Oh, the Sabres just actually tweeted out now. So I guess that one's true, like officially true on the Stanley, Schenn for Roseanne, Bryson, and 2 draft picks. I think I initially tweeted out the one. Let me see what this other one is real quick while I'm pulling it up. And just throwing a 4th round pick on top of that. So nothing crazy there. So official on that front. I can't imagine. I don't think the Sabres tweet out the Carrick one yet. That one also seems good on that front. Cube, I went to the Canucks. Kraken versus Sabres game at the start of the season, or at the start of the run, just wins Oh, that Western game. Oh, the awesome point. Yeah, I was just talking about that. Just wins we would never get in front of the end of the season. It's nice to finally get wins. I felt we deserved for a number of years. Those two games you brought up right there, the Canucks and Kraken one. Sorry, it took me a second to read it. Are the reason the Sabres are at where they are now. That Canucks game I remember vividly with Trevor Kuntar getting his first NHL game. Actually, my laptop's about to. I'll be back in 1 second. So I'm gonna throw this video on, and I'll be back in like 30 seconds, folks. Please stay. But yeah, I'll be back in 30 seconds. Sorry about that, folks. We are back here at now laptop fully charged. We're feeling good. Talking about the Sabres, and I'll get through a couple more chats. I want to finish this Cube one real quick as I get set back up again. Those two games were great. I remember that Vancouver game so vividly with Trevor Kuntar getting his first game. I watched with his brother Cam. We played together at Chatham, and just that win was big. And then this Kraken game where the Sabres were so bad historically against Seattle. To get that, once they got that, I felt like anything was really possible with a Sabres team. And my Shadows are so bad right now. We're going to push through because, again, it's after 1 a.m. on the East Coast. You need a deep. You're going to make a playoff run. Let's not forget what happened to us in 06. 100% chicken bone. We hear the comparisons all the time of 05, 06, what plagued that team, those injuries down the stretch of their decor. Feels like Lindy hasn't forgotten. Jarmo hasn't, forgotten what happened to that Sabres team then. Adding more depth is never a bad thing, especially when they're not taken away from where their team is at right now on the ice. The Sabres update us on Kulik's evaluation point. Yep. I haven't seen anything yet. The last I've seen is he's been skating. I will have to do a little research on just exactly where he is, but I've seen him in part of trade pieces. Not that he can really be moved. That's another part of the Sabres team. If they can get him back healthy down the stretch, that's just another, added depth where I don't know where he even slots in right now. Hopefully he can get some games in the very back half where they hopefully don't matter because the Sabres have clinched and everything's good from that point. So we will see. Became a season ticket holder 05, 06 because those guys were scary good. It's happening again. The vibes are there. I met so many Sabres fans at the game tonight in Pittsburgh, and everyone has that same belief of just there's something special about this group. It's not just a flash in the pan. So I don't even know the right word to describe it. Just crazy that it's 20 years since that 05, 06 team, that the Sabres team is basically doing the same thing is incredible. Every day I'm like, this can't be true. How is this real that the Sabres team is doing this right now? Josh, good to see you after seeing you on the timeline. Love the Carrick move. Hate Schenn, Stanley. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing a bit more. I think the Carrick move's great. You don't really lose anything. Big face-off guy, can bring some jam. Hate Schenn Stanley. Yeah. My thing there is I'm very much in the kind of win now next couple of years because, not that the Sabres are going to be bad next year, but, Tage is not going to be – Tage is in his late 20s. Dahlin's, only 25. This could be your last year with Alex Tuck. You want to make the most of it. And I wouldn't want to see this season end because, you have to have Jacob Bryson step into a big role down the stretch. We saw what happened the last time he suited up for the Sabres. So again, we'll see there. I don't want to worry too much with hypotheticals. Only one Stanley I want, and it certainly isn't Logan. I'll be honest, I'll take two. I'll take two Stanleys at this point. Rosanne and Bryson are the players going out then, correct. and then a bunch of draft picks, which I could care less about any draft picks the Sabres have. I am done caring about the draft. I mean, it's great. It's going to be in Buffalo. Hopefully the Sabres will credential us. I'm hoping they will. But for that event, we will see. But could not care at all about even like the Parayko deal yesterday that was on the table. The first round pick it really means nothing to me at this point. Victor Kevin Adams somewhere must have a big smile on his face right now. As strange as it must sound, 100. Kevin, like there's like NHL is the GM of the Year award, which like they don't really promote at all, and it's voted on by like GMs and like media people and all that. Kevin Adams, he should win. Like, why shouldn't he? He should get votes at the. If anyone has a vote for the GM of the Year award, they have to place it toward Kevin Adams. I don't know how you don't, but he's built this team. And oddly enough, if this team just caught fire, because we heard like Zach Benson's quote of like, nothing really changed. We just kind of believed in ourselves again. So I don't know if it was Jarmo coming in, what it was. But if they just got fire like a week sooner, he's probably the GM. I mean, sports is so weird. You never know what really goes into that. Sabres Reddit crash. I was in full tilt. Suddenly everyone is an armchair GM. We need that. Exactly. I'm on the train of we need depth. I want to see how these guys look in Buffalo first. I mean, where the Sabres team was, like, especially depth-wise, where even earlier in the year, you're having guys – Ryan Johnson played games for the Sabres this year, unless I'm completely lost at this point in the night. But to bring in depth is good. The way these guys play is good. I will take that any time at all. Yes, what did we give up for them? Some picks going out, nothing higher than a second, and then Isak Rosen and Jacob Bryson. Bryson was going to be, I believe, a UFA. Oh, John Carlson's being traded to Anaheim. Whoa, that's breaking right now. Good for the Ducks. Honestly, I'm happy about the Ducks too. Them and the Sabres, I think, are two of the nicer stories this season. So yeah, the Carrick deal was just picks, I believe. Again, it's getting late. And then the Schenn and Stanley deal, you had a second, a fourth, Bryson and Roseanne. Bunch more. Thank you everyone for commenting at this point in the hour. I mean, I would have been done 22 minutes ago if you weren't. So again, we'll keep this going as long as you guys want to. This is the year. This is sorry, I'm a Medina High School graduate. Reading was not my comprehension. It's a perfect time to go all in. Whether that just be capitalizing on Tage being in his 20s, this team where it's at, you're not going to be able to keep them together forever. Between having Magic in a bottle right now and just having Alex Tuck here, there's a lot of question marks dealing about next season. I don't care about them. Focus on winning now, going from there. 100% agree. This Winnipeg trade is truly horrendous. Both players have sub 44% expected goals for percentage. Holy geez, Jarmo, botch is so bad. Yeah. Again, I just want to wait. And the thing that, like, the reason I'm not caring as much on a lot of the details on that is the Sabres didn't lose anything from their current roster. I would take either of these guys over Jacob Bryson right now. You're adding depth to your team. I do sound like a bit of a broken record. I'm sorry about that. But you look at that. That's important. I just want to see how these guys are in Buffalo. We've seen time and time again, every single trade that's happened, granted, it was in the Kevin Adams era that the Sabres made, was immediately met with backlash. So honestly, the more backlash I'm seeing, I almost feel better at this point with just how it's panned out of guys finding their game in Buffalo, being maybe overlooked in places. I know, it's not like we're dealing with a 24-year-old Ryan McLeod being brought in, but we will see how these guys look. I don't know. I'm sure they're going to play. They're going to play Saturday. Like, who am I kidding? Josh, can Stanley / Schenn really step up, though? They've been liabilities for Winnipeg. We'll find out. And the great thing is, if they do kind of suck, the Sabres have a great top six right now. They have to step in. We'll deal with it from that point. Again, it's better than Bryson or Brian Johnson having to step in those roles. I would imagine these guys have, been there a bit more. So yeah, it's more of a stopgap, emergency break glass, emergency situation, I think, at worst. And at best, they've carved themselves out a nice role. You can really calm things down for your top four. But, where we are right now. Jet fan here. Stanley is much better than people give him credit just for saying. Thank you, Ball Hockey. The same Utah Mammoth fans were saying the exact same thing about Josh Stone when the JJ Peterka deal went through. So I take that very well. I've watched Stanley from the beginning as a Jet fan, and he made some serious strides this year. That's awesome. That is great news because, that kind of fits in with this whole Sabres team right now, where a lot of guys have taken the strides in their development. This guy can hit the best of them, much better at moving the puck. He can play the power play, and he can score. That's good. I mean, the Sabres have great puck moving, great, power play, great everything defenseman right now. I doubt he's going to see any time on the power play, but, even in a situation, you look at tonight in Pittsburgh where, when the Evgeny Malkin 5-minute major for slashing happens, Dahlin also goes to the box for 2 minutes. So now you have Bowen, Byermo, and Power running a power play unit. If one of them, gets very tired or one of them's not playing, bringing in a guy like Stanley could be a good benefit from that point. Love the Ducks. Yep. Great. I'm a little behind on comments. I'm going to start flying through them. Carrick, 3+3. I need to look at what Carrick. I got his page pulled up here. I got 4 goals, 6 assists. I don't have a contract here. I'll pull up Puckpedia in a second, Josh, unless anyone has it. Please comment. Schenn, on the other hand, has been awful for the Jets, but he'll fight and throw bodies around. He's pretty much cooked. Yeah, I feel like I've heard that a lot too. So we'll see how he is in Buffalo. It is nice having, a guy that's been there a bit aged on the defensive side. Because top of my mind, Dahlin's 25, Samuelson's 25, Power's 23, Byram is 26. He's in that range there. Metza, Kessel, I think Kesselring's also 25. Metza's probably a couple years older. Like, this is a young D-core who's also, very skilled trying to find their game. So to add a guy with just a different dynamic than that group, I think is awesome. Josh, 2+4. Oh, that was the picks. Thank you. That, again, it's 114. I'm trying my best to catch up on comments. Yes, there might be palm trees in Buffalo right now. Yes. After Parayko said no. Palm trees are in Buffalo with guys coming to be here. Don't look at the metrics, use the eye test. I'm a big fan of the eye test. Unless the metrics agree with my eye test, then I like the metrics, but always a big fan of the eye test. Yep, John Carlson just traded the Ducks. Not by me. I love Kevin Adams trades every time. I did too. I remember when the Peterka one broke this summer, Butt and I went live. We just, as like the rumors like Peterka's being traded, we're going to go live, and we watched the return come in, and I remember both of us like, oh, that's it. But the more we learned about it, the more we liked it, and it's been a great payoff for the Sabres since that point. Stanley is not a liability for Winnipeg. I don't know. We were talking about last year, the year before, maybe, but he just has had a career year in every aspect. Beautiful. The Ball Hockey video, MB, you have turned my net around. And I trust your judgment. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know Logan Stanley's game well. Like, I've seen him play. I've seen him play on the Jets, but not to the extent of, being able to give an accurate, like, this guy's going to do X, Y, and Z for the Sabres, other than, like, the game he plays, stuff like that. So that's very good to hear. Again, I'm hoping these guys can find their stride in Buffalo. Kind of hoping they're both healthy scratches mode tonight. Yeah, I mean, that's the dream scenario. Is honestly the best scenario is they never play for the Sabres. I mean, that's a good thing. First and third for Carlson. Yeah, I would have loved that. I think East-West thing, I doubt. First and third, damn. Good for the Ducks. I'm just happy for the Ducks. Slick, good to see you. Third, yeah. Thank you, Josh. I got there in the end. Numbers are the draft. Yeah, guys, I thank you. I do appreciate you keep me on track here. MVP still up doing it. Slick. It's the GOAT, but that works too. Logan Stanley was a wild get. He's the best get of the group. I agree. I think the Carrick one's going to be an unsung hero. Again, I don't know where he's going to fit exactly in this lineup, where you have a guy like Zach Benson on the fourth line right now. And that fourth line is great. So I'm interested to see what Lindy Ruff does. I'm interested to see what Jarmo Kekalainen still has up in his sleeve, because we have, 12, 13 and a half hours until the deadline. We expected more moves. There might be something cooking up from Jarmo, and if this is all it is, I think it's enough to bolster where you don't want to screw up the magic that's happening right now for the Sabres team. It's not broken. Don't fix it anymore. Read my mind. It's like this is perfectly happening. Jarmo added size and grit, exactly what the Sabres need for the playoffs. Exactly. You don't want an injury happening, completely derailing what's going on. Adding more depth is good, especially so you don't have to have like Ryan Johnson. I keep throwing him under the bus, but you don't want him to be the guy to have the Sabres season really fall on. Who knows? Maybe they'll be amazing for the Sabres. Exactly. You never really know. Interesting trade from Robert here. I don't see these guys breaking up any of the current pairings, but they might play together as a third pair. We've already played quite a bit together, so it could work in spots. Exactly. I think that's kind of the beautiful thing right now, is we don't know what this is going to look like. I mean, even looking at the summer of the Doan Kesselring trade, I saw a lot of people mocking Josh Doan as a fourth liner, and he's going to grind things out. That's about it. And he's really carved out a great role for himself on the Sabres. We'll see how guys look once they're in the lineup here. The Sabres decor has just been so good. And I didn't bring this up in my post-game video, which I really should have, but I was sitting on the wet concrete outside PPG Paints Arena, and I kind of lost it. But the 5 games, since the All-Star or the Olympic break ended, the Devils game, Sabres gave up 1 goal. Florida, Tampa, Vegas, 2 goals against. Tonight, Pittsburgh, 1 goal against. The Sabres decor and their goaltending have been phenomenal. If anything, I feel like the Sabres need to add like scoring in some capacity, but they got that tonight in like really weird ways, though. I mean, they had a power play goal. They had 2 shorties, and 1 empty netter. So you only had 1 5-on-5 goal, which is concerning. Now that's finally clicking now is a little concerning. So to add that depth is good. There's probably something else in the works from Jarmo Kekalainen. If I had to guess, this is not going on. I'm not an insider, not at all. So again, we'll see there. I miss Bryson. Chad agreed. The get Bryson memes from the Sabres social was great. I do expect the social team to put out some sort of video tomorrow for Jacob Bryson. I would want nothing more. Carrick probably bumps Kozak to a scratch. Agreed. I like Kozak's game, but I want to see Carrick. I think he adds a bit more like I don't like Kozak's a good skater. He's mobile. He's good with the puck. He can, his stats aren't there this year, but we've seen when he's trying to make the jump to the NHL initially from his call up to Rochester, he was scoring. He was being a part of a lot of scoring plays. I'm interested to see what Carrick can do on that front. Carrick will fit in the 4th line. Dunn will be sent back down. Yeah. I'm interested to see just how this is all gonna play out. And I guess we don't really need to really worry until after 3 p.m. tomorrow. The Sabres don't play till Saturday. Amherst needs some help. I would expect Ryan Johnson or Novikov to be moved still. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, those are still pieces there. I've always loved Nikita Novikov. I always thought he was something there. I mean, at this point, it's like, okay, he's a big body. Yeah, I mean, the Sabres have artillery. That's the big thing from that point is what's going to happen. Novikov officially requested a trade. We have perfect season seats with the Amerks, and his wife always comes down and talks to people until it's requested. I mean, that's great information. I mean, that's the thing with Amerks is I got a lot of Amerks friends who go to games and like they know the team like the back of their hand, and in ways that like always shock me. So, I mean, it sucks about Novikov. I mean, it makes sense, though. You just look at the Sabres decor at the NHL level, like that. There's not really a place for him to get up there. Because you look at, I mean, Samuelson, Dahlin, Power signed long-term. They still have another year of Byram. I mean, imagine Kesselring's going to be a part of this team long-term if he was a part of that Paterka trade. Metsa is the best defenseman in the NHL at this point. So that all makes sense. Josh, how about almost every other game falling our way? I haven't even seen the out-of-town scores, Josh. Let me pull this up on my end. You guys won't be able to see, but I do want to look at these scores because it feels like since the Olympic break, they actually have gone the Sabres' way every time. The Rangers beat the Leafs in regulation. Mammoth beat the Flyers. Not that those are like groundbreaking. Blue Jackets beat the Panthers in regulation. That's fine. They didn't go to overtime. Predators killed the Bruins. That's awesome. Jets beat the Lightning. Great. What a night. I mean, the Senators beat the Flames. Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for a better night for the Sabres in terms of out-of-town scores. So great thing there. Bring me Braden. Do any of the three play tonight? I'm assuming the guys that brought in from the Sabres. Let me see on the Jets side. I have that pulled up right here. Neither of them were a star, but let me pull up the box score real quick. Pardon, this probably isn't the best use of a live stream, but Jets, none of them played on the Jets side. Let me check the Rangers real quick, folks. Again, sorry for probably not the most professional, but it's 1:22 in the morning, so we're gonna make do as is. The Rangers, Carrick was also not in the lineup, so they didn't play, but they got the team's results that they needed. Zach the Snack 27. As a Jets fan, I do genuinely miss Stanley. He's a 6'7" giant who is loved in the locker room, and the fan base genuinely a great dude, and I hope he plays well. I'll be cheering for him. Oh, that's awesome, Zach. And that big thing you brought up is, he's 6'7", tall guy. You look at the Parayko, similar mold of big defenseman. In terms of being loved in the locker room, that was great. We heard the quote from Rasmus Dahlin. I'm going to see if I can pull this up. I don't know how it's going to work on the streaming here, but Dahlin had a quote after the game that kind of felt like a shot at Colton Parayko just a little bit, but it was just shows, what this team has and what they're building, where we're seeing, the locker room come together in such a great way. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Share screen. Let's see if this works. No, we're just gonna forget this happened, guys. Anyways, so we saw. I'll read the quote out verbatim. Again, great podcasting. Dahlin said, "Buffalo is a hell of a city. All the guys in the locker room love it here. So if you can bring in a guy like Stanley, who's a great locker room guy, who's not going to break up what the Sabres have been building, is going to be a great thing." Joe, honestly, guys, my screen's all kind of messed up after doing that, so I'm going to have to squint just a little bit. Carrick in the dot, and is always a sandpaper guy, and will not let other teams go after anyone. He stands up. Love that. Beautiful. I think it's 53.9 to 3.6 on the draw this season, which is great. The Sabres have struggled all season in the faceoff circle. They've been great the past two games, going above like 56%. That's not going to be the standard going forward. You have to imagine, especially this Penguins team that's missing Sidney Crosby and basically Evgeny Malkin for the entire game. Frank Saravelli's on going live too, trying to steal my thunder. But did they actually make the trade? No, this one's real. I don't think the Sabres have traded out Carrick, but the Jets one, the Sabres accounts officially tweeted out. Saravelli tweeted both, like that they're real. It's not just like rumors. When he brings up the team hashtag, that's the real deal. But yeah, those all seem in the books. If anything, if the Carrick one's not done, I mean, if it's not like official and they haven't tweeted out, if anything, there's going to be a late pick just thrown in for the hell of it. But it feels like that one's also real. Again, if anyone's seen the Sabres tweet that, let me know. Josh, just hoping that Montreal, Detroit, Boston, Ottawa don't swing big. Ottawa with goaltending would be a problem. Agreed. I like the way you match up against the rest of the league 100%. I mean, you look at the East, as good as they are, it's like, am I scared? Like you look at the Sabres team, they match up really well. You look at, I mean, Tampa Bay is always worrisome, but especially if they get back to fully healthy, you could say the same thing about Buffalo, but it's the Sabres are in a really good spot. I'm glad Jarmo's getting on the offensive right now. They're not going to be playing from behind, but tomorrow is going to be a chaotic day. It'll sure we'll be live again at that point. Jets guys were benched. Thank you, Josh. Carrick too. Perfect. Now that's hockey. Noob noted, I got a cut to it last night, as well as a big point of contention during the Parayko stream. People were not happy. It was a lot longer. So the Sabres won. So we don't have to worry about me ending the Sabres season with a haircut. So that is good. Now I shot Parayko. I shot it at Eichel. Yeah, I think both can be true in the same manner. Granted, I mean, Parayko wanted to go to the Kings or the Ducks, notorious palm tree cities. So again, Kevin Adams with another notch in his belt of Kevin was right. Who would have guessed it? Zach the Snack again. The Stanley hate is forced in Winnipeg. I swear you always have one guy that you have to blame. It was always him. Trust in Buffalo, we same guys. Owen Power, I mean, UPL has been that forever. Great night tonight. Owen Power has been that. Another multi-point night, got a goal again. So every team has it. Some bad turnovers, but when he drops the mitts in the playoffs, you'll be hyped. Anything will happen in the playoffs, and I will be hyped. I am a simple man. Seeing Buffalo in the postseason will do irreparable damage to my psyche. Pulse 5590. Yeah, we have Power. I don't hate him though. Perfect. What trades to Buffalo were made and confirmed? I'm going as the Buffalo Sabres account tweeted it out. They brought in Logan Stanley and Luke Schenn for Isak Roseanne, Jacob Bryson, a 2026 second and a 2026 sixth, I believe. Again, it's you guys know the time. You know the time. I don't need to tell you that. That one's confirmed. Carrick, I believe, is confirmed. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen the Sabres tweet in a little bit. But that one was just for some late round picks anyway. So it's not like a massive hinge, and there isn't like a no move clause like Parayko. So these are real. Saravelli said they're happening. So I tend to believe him on that front. You need some monster to clear the crease. Exactly. Bringing a 6'7" D-man definitely won't hurt from that. From what I'm seeing, we're going to have Carrick. Yes, great moves. Agreed. 3 goalies starting to be well. I'm especially now that you bring in these 2 defensemen. That's a great point, Brady. I haven't even thought of is this basically ends Colton Ellis' tenure in Buffalo. You imagine he's going to be moved on from at this point with how UPL and Line have played after the break. They've been alternating these 2 starts. They've been phenomenal, every single one. And then, if for whatever reason you need to bring up a goaltender, I mean, you got Devin Levi in Rochester for a reason. I'd rather have the extra, Stanley or Schenn or Carrick or whoever in Buffalo over a third goaltender. So great point there. Is Carrick actually confirmed? I think so. Sorry, I dropped my phone. I'm going to pull up the Sabres Twitter real quick just to I don't see a tweet, but I would say it's happening. I think I've seen all the insiders say it's happening. So I don't know the process of where it goes from insider to Sabres Twitter tweeting it out, an official in the books. I'm assuming it's going to get there at some point. Would you still be looking for a top line winger to put with Tage and Tuck if possible? If not, we roll with what we've got and hope Benson and Kulich take this spot, perhaps. I was too busy reading it. I didn't really comprehend it. The top line winger. I mean, you look at the Robert Thomas of it all, he's the big name. You'd have to imagine there's going to be another wing or some forward moved in that time. You think it's going to happen? I mean, Peyton Krebs has been fun on that first line, but you look at the Sabres 5-on-5 scoring after this Olympic break. I don't have any advanced analytics at the top of my mind, but they had 1 5-on-5 goal tonight in a 5-1 win with 2 shorties, a power play, and empty netter. I mean, that's concerning. You look at from that point. I mean, you scored 2 goals against the Devils. You get by with 1 goal wins, kind of in that rest of the stretch there. Being able to get another top forward would be massive for this team. As much as I, love to talk about Jack Quinn and everything, if you can move him and some other pick, you still got your first. I mean, you saw what a first and third got Anaheim, John Carlson. So I have faith Jarmo's going to bring in a top name there. So we will see. Never, ever trust an insider. Well, when they bring out the team hashtags, I believe them at that point. When they not just say it, like the Dragger one pissed me off with Parayko because he like put out the rumors like rumors that's going to happen. Saravelli tweeted that like it is happening. In my mind, two different things. But again, we will see. Cap Friendly has Carrick on the Sabres cap space. So if Cap Friendly has it, I get Puckpedia. It's probably the correct term. Then it is true. It'd be a Puckpedia, exactly. If it's on Puckpedia, that is like written in stone. That nothing's changing there. 2026 fourth correct. Wish we did the Carlson trade. Yeah. When Friedman just tweeted that when we were like kind of early in the stream, I was like, a lot of people were saying too, like just a first and a third to get John Carlson. The Sabres would have had to pay more just being in the East. You'd have to imagine. I mean, that has to be true. But even adding Sweetener on top, how could you say no to that? Again, they probably just want to send him out west. You'd also have to assume, I don't know, it's on top of my head, he has to have a no trade clause. And if I've learned anything in the past 24 hours from guys with no move clauses, they want palm trees. So that checks out. Okay, good. Stanley and Luke are confirmed. Yeah, and I don't know. That one also works. They still have 14 million in playoff cap space, so they keep Ellis unless good trade. Yeah, my mind with not keeping Ellis is, you have your 3 roster spots of guys not in the lineup. Keeping it for a goalie, I think is not great. Seeing it's Carrick, yeah, 3rd and 6. Thank you guys for reminding me. I am going to forget this again. Doan is good. Agreed. I would say very good for Josh Stone. And, folks watching, this is your first time stopping, seeing me. Appreciate it. Thank you. I also do a post-game video after every Sabres game. New one was went out just before this went. So definitely give that a watch if you haven't, if you like what you're seeing here. It's a different beast, the post-game videos. But again, I appreciate all the comments. I didn't think I'd be so my cat's running around like crazy right now. I wouldn't be streaming this part. So very good there. Sabres pick up 3 Stanley Cup ranks tonight by my count. 4 for William Matar. Peyton Krebs is doing a great job in April, 100%. I like what he's doing there. I'm just a little worried overall with the Sabres 5-on-5 scoring, but they're winning games. They're finding ways to win, so it's working. Krebs isn't playing on the top line. 10 minutes time last night. Yeah, that's true. I didn't look at the numbers. I like to be frank at the game, which was fun. Enjoyed that. Went right from there to shoot my post-game video outside. I bought an adapter so I could hook my mic up to my phone and record. I realized I flipped the Lightning to USB-C when I ordered online. So it didn't work. So I had to run to my car, get my laptop, and try to record quick to get that out before midnight. But that's my fault. You don't have to worry about that. Only versus Vegas, yes. So Lindy doesn't trust him on the top line. Yeah, I mean, it feels weird with Benson playing with, tonight he was with Dunn and Malenstein. So, I mean, it's just weird because the Sabres are winning. And their lines are pretty fluid anyways. I mean, even look at their defensemen. Their defensemen just kind of rotate wherever, which I think makes the Sabres team a lot more, I think it's probably tougher to match up when you don't know what you're seeing. In a structure, Stanley will need effective and useful in the power play. I'm happy the Jets got a young, fast swinger, desperately needed here in Winnipeg. Yeah, Isak Roseanne, the scruntled wheat, he is such an interesting prospect for the Sabres. I'm going to talk about him for a little bit here. So Sabres drafted him in the first round a few years ago. He was, touted having a great shot, coming from overseas. He played in Rochester. He put up really good stats in Rochester. He got called up a few times, but was pointless for, I think, his first 10, 11 games. And he got that amount in 2 seasons. It didn't look great. He was kind of a passenger. Same thing in Rochester, especially in their playoff runs. There'd be games you just wouldn't notice him. And we had great line mates. He was great. And it was just kind of a weird prospect. He's, really finding his game. This past offseason, or I guess the preseason, and the team's prospect challenge in the, right before training camp, it was his 4th one for the Sabres. He was pointless in those 3 games. I just felt like his time in Buffalo was done. It's like, oh, this guy doesn't have it. It sucks. It was in Rochester, was putting up okay stats and got called up very early in the season. Was phenomenal for the Sabres in his call up. I'll see how many. You probably know how many games he played, but this season. But he was great for Buffalo, where it is a side of his game we've never seen before. So I'm excited for him to get that look in Winnipeg because the Sabres forward is just a big stopgap. I mean, he had 7 points in 16 games. I thought it was a little bit nicer to look at on that front, but overall, I mean, still very, very good. From there. So yeah, I'm excited to see him in Winnipeg. Jacob Bryson too, a guy that I hope gets some playing time, can get paid in the off season, whether by the Jets or someone else. As of midnight, teams can carry as many players they want as long as they make. Oh, thank you, Daniel. I should know that. So thank you for letting me know that. Yeah, this is exciting, especially Logan Stanley and then Schenn will be a perfect fit come playoffs. Sabres not playing around, and I love it. Exactly. We've seen the Sabres be sellers every single year for the longest of time. So the fact that they are in the position now to be buying and, have the ammunition that they have is a great move. I'll find it on my own morons. Great. The insiders immediately backed out of the Parayko deal. It didn't take long for people to say it wasn't a done deal. Yeah, I will forever hold a grudge against Darren Drager. Forever. So tough. Yeah, these are confirmed. Oh, I'm sorry for being backed up on comments, guys. I'm going to be a little bit quicker. Carrick has been announced for 2 hours. Compensation has been released with no pushback. Seems pretty real. He just fills in. Yeah. Jets get Roseanne and Bryson. Yes. Re-sign Stanley. We will see how that looks. A lot of re-signing to do for Jarmo Kekalainen in this off season. Good thing you're not a voice of the people. Exactly. What about a guy like Besser in Vancouver? He's a buy low candidate who scored 40 goals. Vancouver seems to be looking to move everyone. Yeah, between him, Patterson, Vancouver's just, I feel bad for where they're. I mean, we've seen the same thing in Buffalo of, oh, they're there, they could do it. It's just not coming all together, and they're going to try to sell everything. So I would love if I don't know what the price would be on a guy like that. So we will see there. I still think Jarmo's going to make a move tomorrow, especially for forward. But again, we will see what Jarmo does. Does this officially mean my I'm going in Sabres video is retired because we are so yeah, I mean, being back is I think an insult to this team because they continue to be more than just back. On a side note, what did you think of the DJ Moore acquisition by the Bills Day? I love that. It wasn't the same comparison to me as like the Colton Parayko, where I'm fine. I mean, this is a Sabres shot. I'm a Sabres guy. I love the Bills. I don't know the X's and O's of football, but Brandon Beane can't use his early draft picks and well, in my opinion. So getting in DJ Moore, sure. He was great with Joe Brady as his OC back in Carolina. The Bills are doing something, so that's good. Besser would be nice. Agreed. Austin, Norris, Doan were phenomenal tonight. I am out. Norris was great. I was a little worried him coming back after the Olympic break. I wasn't sure what to expect. With him being out for so long, we know his injury concerns in his history there. But yeah, that line was so much fun to watch. They just play the game the right way. I don't want to sound like a 70-year-old in North Tonawanda who hates the Sabres, but they play the game the right way. Sabres not having to move on from Hellenis or Murtka, and I'm thrilled 100%. I was okay. Like I wasn't like thrilled. I'm not like happy the Sabres were getting rid of Murtka yesterday with Parayko, but if they can keep him in, that's awesome. And Hellenis is phenomenal. So if you look at, Austin, Hellenis, Roseanne, like those three prospects, you kind of group together basically. The fact that I would move on from Roseanne 10 times out of 10 out of that three groups. So great on that front. Krebs has been on line one since the break. Gar, good to see you. It's 1:35. This is late hours for everyone. I doubt it though. Still need to figure out what's going to happen with Tuck. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation, but hopefully we have to worry about that after the Sabres, are picking 32nd in the draft. So Gar's time and ice doesn't match. That's true. So he's filling in, others are filling in. It's like a rotation, except versus Vegas. He was on the first line the entire game. Yeah, it was also just a ton of power play PK time tonight. So weird game overall. Interviewed Roseanne out in Rochester. He's a good kid. Agreed. I think he just missed really showing what he can do when he came down the throughway, night and day between Rosén and Bones. Yeah, Kevin, great. I mean, even this season in Buffalo, Rosén, I don't want to say phenomenal. He was beyond phenomenal for what our expectations were of Isak Rosén at that time. I think can really carve out a role in Winnipeg, get NHL time. That's a big thing. I'm happy for him. He deserves to be in the NHL, for how he looked in Buffalo, and it just where Buffalo was roster wise. It was tough to give him that spot with how well he played, and kind of felt like the writing was on the wall when they called up Anton Wahlberg. It was like, oh, is Tage going to come back for Game 1 against the Devils? They called up Hellenis. They've called up Ostlund since then. So I'm hoping he gets a spot there. Victor, yes, good to see you. I'm thrilled about TJ Moore, 100%. Should the Sabres try for Kadri? I mean, it's another center and a guy that's won a cup that can do that. Again, I think if the Sabres are going to bring in a forward at this point, it's going to be a game-changing scoring guy. If Kadri can do that, awesome. But I don't think it's going to be him. Do you think they have any more trade possibilities before the end? 100%. I wouldn't be shocked if Jarmo made a move, let alone a big splash of bringing in a big forward. If that's, I know Robert Thomas is the name always thrown out there, but there's going to be some other ones I think will be moved tomorrow that might be more shocking. One of them is a good chance could end up in Buffalo with just all the ammunition they have of prospects and picks and all that. And as of like the Parayko deal yesterday, we know he's not afraid to move on from a first round pick. And the fact that a first and third got John Carlson still is just like, why are we keeping a first round pick that you're not going to see for a couple years if you're lucky? Any forward additions? Yeah, they got Carrick, and then I can imagine they're going to bring one on. Jets fan here. What do you guys think of Rosén? Chris, if you didn't hear me talk about him like 5 minutes ago, let me know. I'll talk about him again. But I think he's going to carve out a really good role with Winnipeg. He really showed his stripes TLDR in this season, and he's finding his game. And I think he's going to be he's not going to be a big part of Winnipeg, but I think he's going to have a nice role. I'm hoping he can, really find his game and find the potential that we first saw when he was drafted by the Sabres. DeBrusk would be best. Oh, I would like that, Josh. Jarmo should probably just hire you at this point, Josh. Rosén has potential for sure. Yep. 100% headstrong. You guys are awesome. Why am I even talking? You guys don't even need me here. Wanted Sabres bring him up so we can do 100%. Miss Norris on my scent. Yeah, Josh Norris is such a great player for Buffalo, and I think really underrated because again, he's so in and out of the lineup that I think of him as an afterthought a lot, but he makes his team so much deeper. He brings his speed. I mean, the goal the Sabres gave up tonight too against the Pens, where he was the fact that Rasmus Dahlin thought he could catch Brian Rust, I think says a lot. And it didn't really work out, but good luck in the playoffs. Well, thank you, Chris. I hope this is a quick turnaround for the Jets and go from there. And I hope, I'm excited for Stanley. I'm hearing a lot of good things about him. I work second shift and still at work enjoying these trades. Shout out Michael. Hey, thanks for keeping the lights on. 1:45 here on the Eastern Standard Time. I've finally gotten to the bottom of the comments. Again, thank you to everyone for commenting along, keeping this going. It's been a fun hour. We've been live here talking about these trades that Jarmo Kekalainen has made. Double shift brutal, exactly. Nice, and from Josh here, nice to get a dominant win when the first line didn't have their best night. Malkin ejection, obviously huge though, changed the game 100%. I mean, the Penguins had Crosby and Malkin for the entire 60 minutes. That's not a 5-1 win for the Sabres. It's going to be closer to what we've seen in the previous games of a 1-goal win if they're lucky. I mean, we've seen how Malkin and Crosby have played against the Sabres in the past. So getting that win, Malkin being ejected early in the second was, kind of the writing on the wall that the Sabres are going to take advantage and win. The power play got one on that. So that was great. Headstrong Jay, if any forwards are available, who do you think would fit an impact player we would need? For me, it's just that top end guy where, let's look at the Sabres lines. If you don't want to
change things up too crazy. You have, Krebs, Thompson, Tuck. They look good. I would like a little bit more scoring from them 5-on-5. So I don't know if you move Tuck off that line, whatever it is. I think there's another level you can get with that line with Tage Thompson on it. Where, I mean, if you keep Krebs there, great, and at a right winger, I think that would be great. But you have the Zucker, McLeod, Quinn line, which is working oddly very well basically all season. And then Doan, Norris, and Benson's on the fourth line. I'm forgetting someone, which is bad. But, I think you can add that top line for who it is. At this point in the night, I would have to pull up Google. Probably not great for live streaming. So I'm going to think about it as more comments come in, go from there. I know Josh brought up DeBrusque. That could be interesting. I think with what the Sabres have in terms of, ammunition, if you can get a rental of some sort, it doesn't feel like Alex Tuck's going to be re-signed in the offseason. So you have a little bit more to play with in terms of cap, but having to re-sign Benson and Kesselring, Krebs. I mean, he's your first liner now. So we will see. As a New York Jet fan and Sabres, oh gosh, Jay Taylor, you poor soul. I'm so glad to see one of my teams hopefully end the drought. Love the moves, and 100%. Let's win this thing. The bowl of that stuff. Sorry, the Sabres will be leaving the Jets all alone with 15 years drought. Sabres Classic. Thank you for reposting the stream. It's 148. Someone to do what Jack Quinn does, but actually finish. Yeah, agreed. Jack Quinn has the same amount of points as JJ Peterka this year, which is wild to think about. But being able to really elevate that would be huge. Headstrong J. That's exactly what I've been thinking too. Don't want to screw with the chemistry. We have our forwards. Yeah, it's a weird balancing of, you have something that's finally working after all these years. How much do you want to mess it up? But you also don't want to sit back and, not make your team as good as they can be in this most important stretch, really, in not franchise history, but basically my life's history as a Sabres fan. Chicken Bone, I don't think the Sabres need Kadri or Besser. Good players, no doubt. Just looking, 100. They don't need them, but if Brock Besser were just to join the Sabres tomorrow, oh no. Douglas Sandpaper is what Jarmo had. Sorry, it took me a second to comprehend. Yeah, those moves, Carrick especially, Stanley, Schenn, definitely add that, and just add that depth of just peace of mind of, if a guy goes down with injury, which, knock on wood doesn't happen, there's someone that can step in that isn't, a young gun trying to exceed expectations in the situation in the playoffs example, but you're bringing in guys who've played in there. Gregory, people won't run Darlene anymore. Yeah, I mean, even tonight with Malkin, that whole thing there, was it Vegas where Austin stepped in? I think that was, or no, that was Tampa, because it was Tampa. You can get someone else on there, and you don't have to worry about it only being Michael Kesselring on the ice. Oh my God, hadn't thought about JJ in forever. We won the trade. Yeah, that's the best feeling. I mean, you look at all the Sabres moves from let's say early 2020s. It's you watched every guy like a hawk because they were going to win the cup after. But to see the Sabres have success now, where you're not watching every single Utah Mammoth game and checking the score, you're like, oh, Peterka scored again, or Dylan Cousins scored again. This is the worst. It's a good feeling. So agree with there. Kevin, do we know what we sent to Winnipeg? Yes. I'm not going to remember the draft picks. I'll pull it up, but Isak Roseanne, here it is. Yeah. Second round pick in 2027, fourth round pick in 2026, Isak Roseanne and Jacob Bryson got moved to Winnipeg. So you don't lose anything from this current Sabres roster. Kadri and Besser aren't in the age window anyways. Yeah. Good point. No, you guys are, again, I don't even know why I'm even here. You don't even need me. I saw someone bring up the idea of trading Braden Schenn after getting his brother. Just get all of them at this point. Bring in the Hughes, all the Hughes brothers too. If we're going to do that. Braden Point. Thank you. I'm more happy they got more D. Honestly, yep. Chicken bone, especially with, I mean, we hear all the comparisons with 05, 06 to get more D help in the depth department is definitely a good thing. Come to think of it, yeah, I haven't thought about JJ either. Kevin, good point. Definitely won the trade. Yeah, and we're finally starting to see Michael Kessering as a player, to what the idea of him, he's finally, in the lineup after his injury struggles, and he's playing in a manner that's beneficial to the Sabres, where we were a little concerned at first. So that's great. And, we've seen what Josh Doan is, and he got paid, so good for him. That's much better than the almost Parayko deal. I kind of like the Parayko deal in theory. Like, I mean, looking back, big overspend, but I like the idea of a big move of bringing in a guy like that. You're not taking away from anything for your team, but good thing is that didn't happen, so we don't have to worry about it. Second and fourth, thank you, Josh. Tyler Bertuzzi, interesting target. No one's talking about him, but 31 on a young team looking for depth. Yeah, I feel like that's like that every year. I mean, like we hear the big names every trade season, whether that's the off season or in the trade deadline time of these. Robert Thomas is like obviously the big talking point, but he has a big asking price. I don't think anyone thought Dylan Cousins would be moved for Josh Norris. A lot of weird stuff can happen where guys you didn't think were on the block could be moved. I mean, JJ Paterka got dealt. I mean, I was honest when it happened that, at that point it was like, okay, the Sabres are gonna, sign Paterka and trade Byram. I don't know how many people thought it was to be the other way around, and it's worked in spades for the Sabres there. Yeah, Greg, crazy. We're tied with Tampa first with Tampa. I think they had 2 games in hand, but the Sabres play Tampa twice down the stretch. They play them on Sunday, I believe, or a Sunday down the stretch here at home. They're both at home as well, which is big. Brady Bunch, I don't know why they have Benson in the fourth and Krebs in the first. I don't know either, but it's working. So what do I know? It's working. So until it's not, you just keep doing it. Maybe they're setting Krebs up for sure. That's what I thought too. Not to get too in the weeds of my personal life, but I guess it's not really personal, but we did a giveaway for Crossing Swords for Sports City. Shout out Sports City. We're doing a live show there on the 11th. There's no game at like 6, 7 o'clock. I should know this. 6 or 7 o'clock. Follow us on Crossing Swords Pod to find out. We're going to do live at Sports City. It's a great place. We got a bunch of gift cards we're giving away. And the guy that won it for the last time we did he stopped by and got him. And he said, Krebs isn't a first liner. And the first thing that popped in my mind was like, oh, they're just going to build up his trade value and move him. But it feels like he's, past that point. I mean, he has to get paid this offseason, but I feel like they're going to re-sign him. I can't imagine he's going to ask for a ton. Like, if he gets to play next to Tage Thompson, I mean, I would be Tage Thompson's winger for free. Yeah, I feel like at this point they're not going to move him, but you can't imagine they're going to move actual physical pieces from the Sabres team and roster right now, unless like I don't even think they're going to move on from Jack Quinn. I'm glad we didn't give it the first and the prospect for Risto. God, I don't want Risto. No, bad memories. KevCon 80, man, I just got to say what a fun season. It's been a blast. After each win, I get to go watch Steve Dangle cry and leave. It's KevCon 80. We're living the same life. I've become such a Steve Dangle like habitual watcher this season. It's been such a great pace. If you want the Sabres side of a hypothetical Steve Dangle, subscribe to us at Trainer X Sports. I do a post-game video every time that I think is very well edited. That's, very, very good. Some say the best. Some are saying that. But yeah, just the change in the Leafs and Sabres this year it's been good for the soul. very good for the soul. Brady Bunch, Krebs is a great passer, sets good plays for Tage. Benson is a dog, great guy to bully other teams, in my opinion. Yeah. And thing with Benson on the fourth line too is, gosh, my memory on the timeline is kind of fuzzy, but at some point in this season, Noah Austin got moved to the fourth line. I was like, why are they doing that? Doesn't make any sense. But someone tweeted me, was like, well, the fourth line has a lot of great chances, just can't bury. And literally like the next game or the game after, he was a part of the fourth line scoring a big goal for the Sabres. So having Benson there, they didn't convert. Josh Dunn had a great chance that like the puck would like bounce past the Penguins netminder, like literally behind him. He could have scored. Like the fourth line could have gotten a 5-on-5 goal there. It just didn't happen. So having him there, hopefully the fourth line can get one. That's true. Benson. Yeah, no one wants Risto. Yeah. Gosh, I'm fine with one Rasmus. Just keep one. I hate watching the Maple Leafs. Has kept me my hockey fandom intact for the past 15 years. You need it. Well, especially in the playoffs. Like seeing them fall apart was always like, I don't know. The Sabres weren't there, but at least there's something to root for on that front. Again, guys, I don't even know why I'm here. Literally finish each other's sentences. Trade was a huge overpay. I mean, I don't think so. You look at the Sabres team now, they're trying to win right now. There's really no path forward in this organization for Isak Rosen. He looked good in his call-up this year, but, guys like Noah Austin, Constant Hellenis have really passed him in their development. So it's kind of a tough spot. Jacob Bryson wasn't going to resign. Imagine here this offseason, there's really no space for him. The draft picks I care less about. Same thing with Carrick. Draft picks I care less about. So in my mind, they got 3 players for free. So I will take that. Gray, yeah, maybe Benson has played fourth because injury. That's also a good point. I'm fine with just limiting guys' minutes. Keep guys healthy as much as we can, knock on wood. I can see Byram getting moved in day ahead. Just me talking in house here. I can't imagine they move on from Byram. I mean, he hasn't been at the level he was when the Sabres, really turned things around that win streak. Like he was the backbone behind that. I was at the game in Ottawa where he had the 2 goals, including the overtime winner. Like was like peak Bowen Byram is the best player in the NHL. Since then, he hasn't been to that same point producing level, but he's still, I think, an integral part. It's a good word at this point in the night. Integral part of the Sabres team and the decor. That moving on from doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I see, why you would in some capacity, but this top 4 is so good, you can't move on from it. In my opinion, just rolling up. I don't know. I like Bryson, but no need to be bummed. The biggest bummer is like you get Bryson memes that the Sabres would post. Like those are fun. I like those. I like Bryson too because he was a late round pick. The Sabres developed. I remember watching him in Providence. Getting him up into Rochester, into Buffalo. He had a really great season up until the last game he played before break when he had some mistakes and he fell down at the blue line and whatever. And that's an unfortunate end to his tenure in Buffalo. But overall, you're gonna that's not the end of the world to lose him. Don't need Risto. Yeah, keep him out. I can't believe Ristolainen was thought about being brought back. Yeah, I know the Bills like bringing guys back all the time. The Sabres, especially the drought. Like, there's no need. Like, we're not living in nostalgia for the drought. Like Lindy Ruff, at least there's some good times on that front. Do you guys remember like a drought player being brought back? I mean, if they're gonna bring back a guy like Anders Bjork is my guy. Bring him back in a heartbeat. Best player I've ever seen. If this is all we do at the deadline, what a massive flop. Yes and no. You get your depth pieces in case of an injury. You bring some grit. You bring some jam to the lineup. We're all looking at the splashes, especially. I mean, if I look at it without the thought of just seeing every tweet from all the insiders saying, "Oh, the Sabres going to do this, Sabres going to do that," we had all the Parayko stuff yesterday. It definitely feels like a flop in that front, but it's still just the Sabres are better now after these trades than they were before. Because again, the guys they lost aren't in the lineup. The draft picks aren't in the lineup. You're adding some depth, and worst case scenario, if injuries happen, you're you got some help. You got guys that have been there who have some experience. And again, you're not calling up a guy like Ryan Johnson or Nikita Novikov. Don't need Risto. Agreed. Josh, how many fourth-round picks can you name in the league right now? No such thing as over. Yeah, even like late first-round picks. WGR, I think that was them. They put out a clip today on Instagram where they're looking at all of the first-round picks that got traded at the deadline in the past like X amount of years, and they couldn't name like, and it was like Jack Roslovic was the only guy they could name. Like these picks, I think we really overvalue them, especially in the NHL. Like best case scenario, if you're picking late 20s, you're going to see a guy in a couple years. That's if you're lucky. Even, I mean, we got such like Sabres fans we got very lucky with having, Zach Benson plays first year after being picked 13th. That's unheard of. The drop off from like the top 10, it's a lot. So yeah, we'll have Jacob Bryson. Bryson being gone opens up a chance for Johnson Novikov in some capacity. I mean, he brought in 2 defensemen and lost 1. So it makes it a bit tougher. I forget, someone commented a lot earlier of Novikov asking for a trade. So he might be moved. Johnson, again, former first rounder, late first round pick. His path to Buffalo is, very murky now. So we'll see. I saw a breakdown the other day that effectively said unless you have a top 10 pick in the draft, it's more great draft capital. Yeah, 100%. I do not care about the draft. I know the Sabres are hosting. Get rid of it. Everyone will be happier not having it. Last time the Sabres host, they picked 8. They took Alexander Nylander. Not the best investment there. Yeah, you're not losing anything by trading Bryson compared to what we got for next year. Oh, for next year. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, again, I believe Stanley and Schenn aren't under contract next season, so going to be some openings there. Again, Kesselring's also not under contract next season, so we'll see. Hopefully they can keep him in the organization and they get a shot at the NHL next season, but we will see. So ultimately, I'll take players over draft picks 100%, especially where the Sabres are right now. This isn't a Sabres team that's, on the fringe of a wild card spot that's, going to be close, but they don't want to sell the farm to try to just end the drought, just to end it. They're tied for first in the Atlantic. Tampa has 2 games in hand, but they have the same amount of points. So they're very different spot, and players are very important. I would have brought back McNabb. That's a great call, Gregory. Those are good names there. Also, Tyler Myers was talked about. All the Sabres named from the past are being brought up. Appreciate the response, Doug. I'm feeling damn good about where we're at. All the best to Bryce, and 100%. Again, I'm very excited for Isak Rosén in Winnipeg. I'm hoping he gets a really good chance to show his game. He was always such a fun prospect in Rochester. He led the AHL in scoring. He was a good player. Finally was able to figure out the NHL level and just didn't have that pathway to be a consistent NHLer. He's going to, I think, be really liked in Winnipeg. I hope he's on a line where he can produce and get a good opportunity. Yes. Yeah. Props to the crew at GR. Oh, shout out GR. Holy, you know what? The Sabres just got that Sabres are big and nasty now. The 3 guys they brought in, big and nasty. Bye Bryson. I'm sorry, but I've lost faith in WGR. I mean, I'm based in Pittsburgh right now, moving back to Buffalo though in May. Never a watcher of the full show of GR, but I like the clips. What can I say? Carrick plays over Kozak. Yep. Stanley plays over Metsa. Metsa is the best player I think in the league right now. So I'm interested to see what the Sabres do, and I don't know what they do with their decor. We'll see what Lindy does on this front. We'll go for an hour and 20. It's after 2. Again, thank you everyone just commenting along, making this fun. Time is flying by. Josh, Yuri Kulik, unironically one of the best on the list. I keep forgetting Yuri Kulik is a part of the Sabres organization. The terms of the first that got traded, he was in the Sam Reinhart deal and picked in the 20s. So yeah, literally Yuri Kulik was the best on the list, which is saying a lot where he's valued right now in the Sabres. I really like these trades. If they extend Tuck for a reasonable contract, I'm in heaven. Yeah, again, take all the insider stuff with a grain of salt. I'm trying not to take it as gospel, unless it's something I want to see, and then I'll take it as gospel. But one of them put out like a 10.5 today number for Tuck. I don't think you can't. I don't even know what the numbers look like next year now with just all the moves that have happened, but they had like $14 million in cap space available next season. And you have to re-sign Benson and Kessering and Krebs and some other names on the list. But I mean, ideally, we're talking trades too for tomorrow. If they can just move on from Greenway's $4 million, that would be phenomenal. That would be a big thing. Agreed. I just get a bunch of comments. I mean, once they stop coming, I'm going to turn the stream off unless I'll catch back up, guys. I'm falling behind again. Sorry. So far we've added two. Yeah, it's at 2 a.m. People, the Warpath doesn't sleep. Loyalty to the Crest goes way beyond a sleep schedule. So far we've added 2 big defensemen, including a 2-time champion and a 4th-line center. That's pretty great point. Bills Boyack for 7. Yeah, looking at that way, I'm going to take a screenshot of this real quick so I remember. Sorry about that. That's a great point. I mean, that says it all. Agree, Billy. Yep. You're cleaning up in the comments, Billy. Great work. Tuck situation is getting a bit nerve-wracking. Shouldn't he be signed before the deadline? That's kind of thought. I mean, that was kind of the idea, and also just like I think the main priority in the start of the season. But I've been vocal on just as longer the season's gone on, the less. One, I want the re-sign to happen just because the money it's going to cost, or what it appears to cost to sign him, and what you'd be giving up by signing him to that length for that amount of money, I don't think is worth it. It's obviously I'd want to have Alex Tuck be a member of the Sabres. He's a big part of it. He brings a lot. He's a Central New York kid, whatever. But to be north of 10 million is a big ask, because then you're going to have to lose a lot unless you can move on from a Greenway or you move. And a lot would have to happen to the Sabres lineup that I don't know if it's worth it. It doesn't feel like anything's going to happen with Tuck before the deadline. If it does, great. RJ is correct. I couldn't imagine this run with just like one RJ game in there. Yeah, we do need. Yes, agreed, Josh. Kess having a down year isn't the worst thing. Yes, yeah, Brady. That's a great point, and the Sabres should like play him less. And I think we all need to play a part in this too, of just disparaging his name on the internet, to lower his value as well. So here on out, as of 2:09 Eastern Standard Time on March 6th, no more nice things about Michael Kessling, so the Sabres can save some money in free agency next year. Just saw this as a true. I'm excited. Do we finally get rid of Powers? No. Owen Power is great right now. Goals in back-to-back games, multi-point night again tonight. He is still here. Huge trades. I mean, I made this sidebar quick before we went live, as I made the other trade graphics for the Crossing Swords podcast on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I gotta be better posting there, but follow us there if you're new to the stream tonight. Run that account there. But yeah, Power's still here. The only players gone from Buffalo: Isak, Rosén, Jacob Bryson. You bring in 3, heavy hitter guys. You bring in Sam Carrick, center, who's won 53.9% of his draws this season, can fight. You bring in 2 defensemen from Winnipeg: Luke Schenn, Logan Stanley. Stanley's 6'7", 70,000 pounds, can hit. Winnipeg Jets fans have been in the chat tonight, have really liked him. Haven't heard a single good thing yet about Luke Schenn, but the night is young. Gregory, we got Yuri and Levi in that same trade. Great return. Who'd have thought, moving on from Sam Reinhart, that those two had worked out? Levi hasn't hit the expectations we had early on, and obviously, who'd have thought Sabres fans would have shot to the moon in expectations when the smallest inkling of good was happening. You can get Robert Thomas, for Byram, Quinn, Wahlberg, and a first. That's a no then. Oh, God. I'm going to have to think about that. I mean, I'm not firing on all cylinders at this point in the night. You're shaking up a huge part of this team that I don't know if it's worth it for a guy like Robert Thomas, who's great. But I think there's going to be some forwards available that can help the Sabres team out where you're not going to have to, field basically a whole new roster on Saturday compared to what you fielded tonight. That's what worries me a bit. I want the Sabres to get better, but I am worried about changing the magic that they have right now. Fake the freak injury all season. I would really hate to see Tuck. Agreed. I love Alex Tuck. But in terms of a guy who says he wants to be here asking for that much money, doesn't give me that inclination. I get, he's got to get paid, do all that. That's a big ask. I'm not sure Kessling sticks around because of Parayko agreed. My thing too is the Sabres were giving up a first and Murka for Colton Parayko. The Blues would have to retain salary on that $6.5 million. You would have to if you're giving up that much. So who knows there? It's the first deadline that's mattered in 15 years. 100%. The first time they've been buyers since I've been alive. So that is good. Giving up Murka for an old ass Parayko is nuts. Yeah, I mean, I know the Sabres are trying to win now. Thankfully, no matter what side of the aisle you're on with that trade, none of it matters because he wants to be in LA or Anaheim or in St. Louis, the three palm tree capitals of North America. Kevin, I'm personally waiting for THG Games review video. Oh, I love the hockey guy. Sorry, it took me a second to work through the acronym. Finding this feed was a welcome surprise. Thank you, Kevin. I loved having you here. Love having everyone that's tuned in. Had over 1,000 pop through here. I know the YouTube chat's been going great. So shout out to YouTube. Well, check out my end what a lot of people went through the YouTube. So it means a lot, everyone. It's been a fun thing. This was kind of the spur of the moment. As those trades happen, I was like, we'll see what happens. And hour and a half later, we were still here. So thank you, Kevin. I'm excited to see the hockey guy as well. 9 a.m. in Finland. Jealous. Very jealous of that. Greenway should be put on LTIR and then released after the season. Yeah, I'm not a salary cap guru, so I don't know what that means for the cap next season, but I don't think, even if it's healthy, like where does he fit in this lineup? I don't think he does. He just doesn't have that same step. Thank you, Jake. And again, everyone who's loving this content, I put out a video like 2 hours ago, my breakdown from the Pens game, which I was at for the Sabres, and I do it for every Sabres game. The Tuck situation is not about the max price; it's about the price still being worth 36. Yeah, I mean even 100% when he's 36, Josh. But the thing that like just next year, there's not a lot of cap space. I'm worried about re-signing guys like Benson. There's another name I'm missing. Benson, Krebs, Kesselring. There's another forward in that. Malenstein. Hey, you got to pay back Malenstein $12 million next year. So talk is just for that much. It gets concerning on how they can keep the rest of the team there, and if he's worth breaking up. What they have. If Levi pans out, UPL salary can be moved over the summer. Let's say, yeah, but I mean the way UPL's playing, you can't move on from how he is. Like him, and he's being paid what north of $4 million. On top of my mind, like he's worth that in spades with how he is. My throat's all sore now from yelling Luke all night. He's been great. Use our first some Greenway and Danforth. Yeah, I was saying that must have been during the Parayko stream when we're still trying to figure it out. When it was like, oh, he's coming to Buffalo. What's it going to look like? If they can just find a way to move on from his contract, that is a win in my books. So if it's a first, I mean, you need something back. You need something back, but to move on that contract is very big and be very nice. How can you insult Power and Mark? Exactly. Owen Power is the guy. His game has come such a long way. Is he an $8 million defenseman right now? No, but he's a damn good one right now for the Sabres. Where this is the first Sabres. I think this is the first Sabres game I've been to in person this season. Sorry to work through that. No, I was at the Ottawa game. But I was thankfully it's late, folks. Thanks to Trainwreck Sports across their podcast, they got me a very nice ticket tonight right by the glass, and I was behind the Sabres end, like right behind the goal. And I was able to like watch Owen Power net front, and he feels like he's taking a bigger onus in that net front thing, which everyone loves to complain about, which understandable. So he's growing there, bringing in, some bigger defensemen to hopefully take that off his shoulders where he doesn't have to be, the top PK guy for the Sabres in that front. But again, scoring back-to-back games, being, finally getting the points after what we're seeing is great. I was going to say Power's been pretty good lately, goals and assists. He's finally getting the points with it. Power haters are like the fucking plank. Yeah, I put out a tweet earlier tonight. I'm praying for the Owen Power haters because those are also the UPL haters. And, all they're clinging to now is Jack Quinn. And, all it takes is one game, and, maybe Jack is back. Caps trading Karlsson is wild, over retiring at the end of the season. So you would think. It kind of just feels like Ovi's kind of done at this point. I mean, I feel like the media fanfare around Alexander Ovechkin is not there at all. I mean, we obviously had a ton of stuff with him breaking the goal record, but moving on from Karlsson, I feel like I got to pull up the standings. I didn't think the Caps were that far out. Sorry, folks. Let me pull this up real quick. I mean, the Caps are only 4 points back of the Bruins in the wild card, so not like sell the farm level of where they are, but to each their own. Good for the Ducks. Washington lying over now. Hopefully another team. Sabres, exactly. Great point. And I mean, I think Josh brought it up an hour and a half ago at this point, but the way the rest of the games went in the NHL tonight just makes it that much sweeter for the Sabres, where they're getting the out of town scores to go their way. Owen Power slander will not be tolerated. Don't fix what's not broke. Exactly. Who do you want the Sabres to play in round one? Ideally Boston, because that would mean the Sabres would win the Atlantic, and I would like that a lot. Oh my God. If the Sabres give one of the top two seeds in the Atlantic and they can host game one of ending the drought, I can't imagine what that arena is going to be like. I'm going to have to find a way to get inside there. I know I'm not getting credentialed, but if I can find a way inside, that is going to be such an incredible memory to look at. The first game of ending the drought on home ice would be incredible. So hopefully that's there. A lot of these teams match up kind of weird. I'm always scared of the Senators, especially if they bring in a goaltender at this free agency trade deadline. Again, folks, it's kind of late. Matt Murka, kind of mid-low key, easiest prospect part with. Yeah, he's a fun prospect of what he could be. His skating kind of worried me. A training camp that I was at, but it's not like an end-all be-all. He's fucking massive, so that's understandable. But he's a guy too you're gonna have to wait on a little bit. You have to choose though between him and Alex. Not right now. I think you wait until the end. And right now, I mean, UPL's I think the better of the two. He gives me a little bit more confidence in that, which is crazy to say. I mean, I know that's a wild accusation to speak out loud. But I mean, they don't have to figure that out right now. Right. Both these guys, don't burn them, either of them to the ground. By the time the postseason happens, see where you're at. And if they're in the exact same situation, you play UPL night one, see how he does, and go from there. But I think it's his net to lose. I want the Habs. They're tougher than the Lightning. Yeah, they shouldn't be playing the Lightning unless the Lightning fall off a cliff or the Sabres fall off a cliff and they're going to Tampa. But we will see. Sam Carrick, there's your face-off guy. Yep, 52% face-offs for his career. Yep, 54 this season. Hopefully they got him for the proverbial Mike Robitaille bag of feathers. Great comment, Tom Hull. I mean, the Sabres have been dreadful in the face-off circle this season. The past two games has been their only sign of life in the dot, where they won 56% against Vegas the other night, and were in a game that they were winning north of 80. I think they're 82 or something, halfway through. So they fell off a cliff in the back half. And then tonight in Pittsburgh, they were in the high 59 maybe. It's also a Penguins team without Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin for 2 periods, so you should win a lot of faceoffs if they're not in the lineup. Powers come a long way. Agreed. Byram bad games are worse than Powers. Yeah, I think with Byram's too. Again, it's a late night brain, but I'm just thinking of like he has a lot. This is probably just one play that happened. Could have even been last year of just a turnover in front of the Sabres net on a breakout that ended up in the back of their net. I don't know how long ago that was, but that sticks out in my mind. We traded 3rd and 6 for Carrick, correct? Which is free. It's a free player. Caps are cooked. Too many games played. Oh, do they have a lot? Let me see real quick. Oh, they played 63. Oh, yeah, they played a lot. No, it checks out. I guess you still want to get something, getting that first. But again, it's going to be a late first. So again, to each their own. Watch Ovi. Ovi's coming to Buffalo. Actually, we're Jarmo. Bring Ovi home. Bring him home. He's coming to Buffalo. He's gonna fix the power play. He's gonna fix the. I shouldn't have those thoughts. It's bad. Greenway, Danforth, Timmins, Colton, and a first to Vancouver for Arttu Ratu. What are Ratu's stats? I don't think they could be that good. That's a lot to give up. I feel like. 1 second while I pull these up. 12 points in 45 games. I honestly haven't watched him that much this year, but if you have, let me know. Detroit would be so fun because these are 2 teams that in long playoff droughts. I think that'd be a great series because one of them's moving through. I think Butchergrass said that on Sarah Valley's show today. Feels like 7 lifetimes ago I watched that. That'd be such a great series. UPL's the better goalie when he's on his game, but line is good too. So either way, yeah, I think UPL's ceiling is higher, but Lions' floor is higher, if that makes sense. Which I think it does. So we'll see what Lindy does. He's, to his credit, somehow balances 3 goalie system in a beautiful way, and it's working right now. So no need to doubt there. Would you say power play is the biggest weakness for this team right now after they address depth? Yeah, a part of me still says like 5-on-5 scoring. Sabres scored 5 tonight, but only one of them came 5-on-5. You had 2 shorties, a power play goal, and an empty netter. That's a little concerning in a game like this. Especially too, I feel like after this post-Olympic run they've been on, the 5-game win streak, their 5-on-5 hasn't been like world-beating, but they just win games. Like it's hard to pinpoint like, oh, they need to be better here because they just continue to just win games. They get a lead and they just hang on to it somehow, some way. I mean, I'm not really much of a betting man, but I feel like just betting the 3rd period under of every Sabres game would just win you all of the dollars. Again, I'm not a financial guy, but they just find ways to win. So if you can, fix the power play, which to me is it feels like a coaching thing. You got a skilled lineup. You should be able to score on the power play. But yeah, if you could bring in a big forward to help out that 5-on-5 in some capacity, I think you do it. And I think I'm all caught up on comments. So if you have anything final you want to talk about here, speak now, forever hold your peace, or else I am going to be going to bed soon because it is, again, 2:30 on the East. Josh, Detroit feels fraudulent. They do have some fraud vibes. Avoid good goaltenders. Agreed if possible. I'll pass on facing Swayman, Vasi as long as great. Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, you got Swayman to shoot from center ice. You're going to get one in. Montreal would be the most fun. Yeah, Montreal would be fun. I don't think I'd have fun. I'd be too stressed. I'm going to be stressed out for all of them. Who am I kidding? Josh, yeah, I'm going to ban you from chat so we can go to bed. But no, I want to give a thank you to everyone stopping in. I saw a lot of new faces here. So a quick little pitch before you turn it off, go to bed. Trainer Sports page you're watching now, kind of the overarching. We do Buffalo content from sports, Sabres, Bills, Bandits. We got wing reviews. We got a little bit of everything. We got Trainwreck today, like a daily Monday, Wednesday, Friday show around noon. Talk everything Buffalo, kind of like a Pat McAfee-esque kind of show. We got that. Crossing Swords. This logo you see down here is the page I run on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, which is our Sabres show. We do a live show every Thursday for the most part. We'll do some Wednesdays. We have a live one Wednesday at Sports City Pizza Pub. Stop by, hang out, get beer on me. if you show up. Montreal Buffalo be best for the league. Chicken Bone, great having you in the comment section, keeping us going all night. Go Sabres. It felt great. All the people, Sabres I saw tonight saying go Sabres and meaning it and getting a go Saves back, and it just felt good. It's good to have. I mean, go Bills has been the vernacular forever, so to have go Sabres be back, that always feels good. But yeah, if you're watching here, subscribe. I do my post-game videos every Sabres game on this page. Also post them to Instagram and Twitter, so give us a follow there. My personal's also here on Instagram and Twitter if you want to see more from me, which at this point, you've heard me talk for an hour and 41 minutes by myself. In terms of vocal, I had a great time going back and forth to chat. That's been great. And like and share. Exactly. But folks, it's kind of call it quits. I got work in a couple hours. So let's go Sabres is right. And folks, on that, Dirty Sanchez, good to hear from you on that note. Again, thanks everyone for stopping. It's been fun talking about these trades, and we have a big trade deadline tomorrow. I'm sure I'll be live sometime around the deadline if the Sabres make a move, and if they don't, I'll go live around the deadline. We can go from there. But folks, again, thank you everyone for stopping. It means a lot to me to have this many people stopping in at this hour after a game. So enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your morning. If you're in Finland, enjoy it. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you all probably tomorrow, if not by Saturday. Let's go Sabres.